Hello, my name is Alex Ramos, and I'm here with my partner Robert Villarreal, and we have recently been researching on the new turf fields in Rialto. In Rialto, RUSD has fundraised money to get a new turf field. Recently, it has been under construction, and we've learned that turf is made of plastic, rubber, sand, and mixed chemicals. The installation process starts with smoothing out the hard soil, putting in the drainage system. The turf will be laid out with a mixture of crumbled cork, rubber pellets, and sand to give the blades more supports. This gives the turf more natural feel. While researching, we found a connection. George Palma, who is an RUSD facilities worker, he gave us information about how we'll no longer need maintenance because of the synthetic turf. They will cut down on water usage, which will save a lot of money over the years. The savings will increase, but while in the summer, because of how hot synthetic turf gets, they will need to sprinkle down the synthetic turf because of its heat hazard. It reaches up to 160 degrees in the summer. It also has chemicals that may affect asthma. Synthetic turf also gives turf burns. Some pros are synthetic turf also has a lower rate of injuries than grass. It also has low maintenance costs. It's great for sports, and it has no pest problems. Some pros to grass are it stays cool, grass self-sanitizes itself, and there are no chemicals in grass. Grass repairs itself. Some cons to grass are there's pest problems, it has a high risk of injury, it costs a lot of money to take care of it, and it needs great climate.
I think it's a great addition to Rialto High School. Hopefully, it brings out a lot of kids that wouldn't normally play with the excitement of having the field turf system put in. I think it's a welcomed addition, and looks like the school makes it look like the city cares about the athletics in the area. I think that's a myth. I think that anytime you're playing contact sports or sports on turf where there's a lot of running in cleats, the artificial turf that we have is a pretty good simulation of grass. Generally, you're supposed to wear a lower cleat on that type of surface, which doesn't have a tendency. If you wear a longer cleat, you may have a possible higher risk of knee injury or leg injury or something like that. But if you wear the type of cleats that are designed for that type of surface, I don't believe that to be true. For the kids who don't have that type of cleat, the football program is purchasing cleat replacements so that they can screw them into the bottom of the cleats to try to minimize the risk of injury. The heat, I believe, is an issue. From what I understand, they didn't purchase the water cannons this year. Therefore, cooling the turf will be a challenge in the summer. The rubber that's in the turf heats up, obviously. So if it's 100 degrees outside, it's probably 110 on the turf. Our summer, during the summer months for us, we see 107, 108. That probably makes it about 116, 120 on the turf. So for us to practice on it, we already practice in the evening hours as it's cooling down. But we will probably need to hose it down, which will be a chore to get the temperature down below 100 so that we can practice. I was told that they will be purchased next year. The way that it's being built, they build those turf systems with a pretty good drainage system. So I believe the water kind of drains off to the side, to the edges. I'm not 100% sure of the drainage system, but it may absorb into the turf and drain through the bottom. I think the fact that it's an artificial surface, artificial surfaces are a lot faster than natural grass. So I think the speed of the game will increase on that surface. I don't think a lot of people realize that. Because the game's moving faster, you could see more injuries. But I don't. It's speeds and the collisions could happen. But as far as leg injuries go, I think it's pretty similar to a natural surface. I do in the long run because we've been here for 6 years. I think every student that attends this high school and schools in this district should be proud of the surface that they play on. When I first arrived here, there was beautiful grass around the outside, and down the middle was pure dirt. They fixed that in 2 years, and then the surface wore out again. And over the last 4 years, nothing had been done to it to repair the middle of the field. So I think over a lifetime, over the lifetime of that of the turf, it'll save water. It'll save manpower, and they don't have to paint the lines. The lines are going to be in there. The lines are there for soccer. The lines are there for football. So I think it saves the district money. I think it saves everyone money in the long run. It is a high cost at the beginning, but I think it's well worth it.
Thank you. Hello, Ralph.
Okay, the district came up with the money through a voter-approved general obligation bond called Measure Y back in 2010. So the voters voted on this bond and improvement plan for the district to be able to provide money for school facilities improvements. And the voters approved Measure Y, and it was in 2010. And there were several different projects, many projects, but this track and field improvement project at Rialto High and Carter High, and also in the future Eisenhower High School, is one of many projects within Measure Y bond. Okay, the end time for the projects at Rialto High and Carter High School, the track and field improvements, are scheduled to be completed at the end of August this year. So you should be playing football on it by the end of August.
Yeah, right before the season starts.
Well, actually, the idea in its inception was from our superintendent, Dr. Harold Sebrin. It was his idea, and he came up with the conception of replacing the original track and field surfaces with new artificial field and artificial rubberized track surfaces. So Dr. Sebrin was really the one who had the idea to go forward with the project with the help of us bond staff members. The idea was to try to, and this may answer your next question, pros and cons, the idea was to not only save resources, which is water, because with natural grass you have to water and you have to maintain it more, you have to fertilize it. It costs a lot more money than a artificial surface cost to maintain. So maintenance was a big issue. Maintenance cost. The other issue was there is a proven fact that actually artificial surface now is creates an environment for football players, football players and soccer players for less injuries because it is more absorbent to force. It's called G-max force. And actually, so that's another pro, and that answers your next question. So saving water resources of watering, saving time and energy to fertilize, saving manpower to stripe the field because it's permanently striped.
Yeah.
All of those kind of things come into play. So that, well, also enhance the play field as far as to make it last and multiple sports can play on the field. So with natural grass you get, it's a huge amount of maintenance to maintain. You have to reseed, and like I said, the water issue, but more than anything it was to enhance not only to enhance the sports programs at the school to be able to play on natural or on artificial surface, but also for the community, because we have a lot of community sports programs. Not only that, but our middle school and elementary sports programs that would be benefit from going artificial track and field. So just for everybody in the community also, not just the school district and the school children, but also the community in general.
Hello, my name is Alex Ramos.
My name is Robert Villarreal.
And we're reporting for PBS NewsHour and National Science Association.